What if I told you that during World War II, scientists tried to build a space mirror that could fry cities from orbit? Or that bats were once turned into flying bombs? Welcome to a darker, stranger side of history, where desperate times led to mind-blowing inventions, some real, some rumored, and some straight out of science fiction. From Nazi time machines to icy aircraft carriers, these 5 weapons weren't just top secret, they were absolutely shocking. Stay till the end as we uncover a weapon so mysterious, some say it could bend time itself. These aren't just relics of war. They're chilling reminders of how far humanity is willing to go when survival is at stake. 1. The German sun gun, the mirror of mass destruction. Imagine a giant mirror floating in space, not for lighting but for killing. This was the Sonnengewehr, or sun gun, a concept dreamed up by Nazi physicists in World War II, proposed by rocket pioneer Hermann Oberth. The plan was diabolically brilliant. The Nazis wanted to launch a 9-kilometer-wide concave mirror made of metallic sodium into Earth's orbit. Its mission? Focus sunlight onto Earth like a magnifying glass, incinerating enemy cities from space. This wasn't just science fiction. Oberth's detailed plans included a manned space station to build and aim the mirror. It would stay locked over enemy targets in geostationary orbit, scorching the ground below it with relentless solar heat. To work, it required flawless curvature, precision targeting, and advanced guidance systems. Technology that simply didn't exist at the time. And yet, it sparked real fear of orbital death rays, long before lasers became mainstream. The scale of ambition alone made it terrifying. Though impossible in the 1940s, the concept eerily foreshadowed satellite-based weaponry. In many ways, the sun gun represents humanity's first real idea of turning space into a battlefield. But this is just the beginning. The next weapon wasn't made of metal or fire. It was made of ice. Second Project Habakkuk, the ice aircraft carrier. What floats, doesn't melt, and can't be sunk by torpedoes? That was the question British scientist Geoffrey Pike tried to answer in 1942. His solution? Build a warship out of ice. During World War II, Allied ships were vulnerable mid-Atlantic. Steel was scarce, so Pike proposed building a 2-million-ton aircraft carrier from a bizarre material called pikecrete, a blend of water and wood pulp. Stronger than regular ice and more resilient to explosions, it was essentially frozen armor. This floating fortress would house aircraft, crews, and even defensive guns. With onboard refrigeration pipes, the entire hull would stay frozen even in summer. In theory, it could survive torpedoes, bullets, and even direct bombing for extended periods. The design was ambitious and innovative, but also deeply flawed. Constructing something this massive in freezing conditions, with limited fuel and infrastructure, made it a logistical nightmare. And even if built, it would have traveled slower than most warships. Still, this icy behemoth proves how wartime desperation can fuel radical creativity. A prototype lasted for months in a Canadian lake, an eerie ghost ship of frozen hope that now rests forgotten underwater. The next idea? Even stranger. It involved bats, thousands of them, and they were on fire. 3. The Bat Bomb, Project X-Ray, flying incendiaries. In 1942, U.S. military officials were pitched a plan that sounds like a comic book villain's fantasy: weaponize thousands of bats and use them to ignite Japanese cities from the inside. Little S. Adams, a dentist-turned-inventor, proposed fitting bats with mini napalm bombs. They'd be released mid-air over Japanese towns. Instinctively, the bats would seek dark hiding spots in attics and rooftops, ideal for maximum incendiary damage. Each bat could carry a tiny 17-gram bomb with a time delay fuse. The plan called for special bomb casings that held 1,000 bats each, kept in hibernation using refrigeration. Once deployed, the casing would open mid-air and let the bats spread silently across the landscape. Tests showed promise and danger. In one trial, the bats accidentally set fire to the U.S. airbase itself. It worked a little too well, but handling thousands of live explosive bats proved chaotic and risky. As the atomic bomb neared completion, the bat bomb was quietly shelved. Yet, it remains a jaw-dropping example of unconventional thinking, one that blends biology, chemistry, and chaos. You've heard of drone strikes, but have you ever heard of balloon bombs launched across the Pacific Ocean? 4. Fugo, Japan's intercontinental balloon bombs. In one of the most surprising operations of World War II, Japan launched 9,300 hydrogen balloons, armed with bombs, into the sky and let the jet stream carry them across the Pacific Ocean to strike the U.S. mainland. Called Fugo, these 33-foot-wide balloons carried high explosive and incendiary bombs, along with an advanced altitude control system. Using sandbags and hydrogen valves, they could stay airborne for over 3 days, riding at 36,000 feet to reach their targets. Constructed by schoolgirls in Japanese factories using washi paper and paste, they represented a low-cost but high-risk attack strategy. Their mission? Set American forests ablaze, spread terror, and force military diversion. Though only about 300 reached North America, the damage could have been worse. The wet winter minimized fires, but 6 people tragically died in Oregon after finding a balloon that exploded. These were the only U.S. mainland deaths caused by enemy action in World War II. Fugo's impact was limited, but symbolically powerful. It was the first intercontinental weapon ever used in warfare, a haunting prelude to ICBMs and future long-range strikes from space. Our final weapon is the most mysterious of all. Some say it could defy gravity. Others claim it could bend time. 5. Die Glocke, the Nazi bell and time-warping secrets. Of all the Nazi secret projects, none is wrapped in more mystery and conspiracy than Die Glocke, or the bell. It was never officially acknowledged, but rumors suggest it was one of the most advanced and dangerous experiments ever attempted. Described as a bell-shaped machine, 9 feet tall and 6 feet wide, it supposedly housed counter-rotating cylinders filled with a violet liquid called Zerum-525, possibly radioactive. When activated, it allegedly caused radiation burns, time distortions, and even gravitational anomalies. Its supposed test site? A remote facility near the Wenceslas mine in Poland, where a strange concrete structure known as the Henge still stands. Some believe this was the testing rig for Die Glocke. Others think it was just an old mining tower. No blueprints, no photos, just whispers and second-hand accounts. Rumors claim SS officer Hans Kammler, who oversaw the project, vanished with the bell in 1945. Was it destroyed, taken to Argentina, or perhaps hidden in the U.S. under Operation Paperclip? Some say Die Glocke was a zero-point energy experiment. Others believe it was Nazi Germany's attempt to control time. Whether myth or reality, its legend still fuels science fiction, secret space programs, and UFO lore to this day. These shocking weapons, whether made of ice, light, bats, or balloons, reveal a chilling truth. When survival is on the line, human innovation knows no boundaries. Some of these weapons were real. Some never left the drawing board. But each one reminds us that the line between genius and madness is often very, very thin. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more mind-bending stories from the edge of history and science. Tell us, which weapon shocked you the most, and which one do you think could have changed the world if it had worked?